7 Chinese provinces were hit by heavy rain. Houses and cars were swamped, and bridges were washed away. The explosion at the Hebei police station is fraught with uncertainty. Another $100 billion real estate company in China faces delisting due to its debt crisis. The CCP exploited the Cathay Pacific incident to inflame tensions between people on the mainland and Hong Kong. It's all covered in today's China Truths. 7 Chinese provinces were hit by heavy rain. Houses and cars were swamped, and bridges were washed away. During the flood season, numerous provinces in China have fallen victim to devastating floods. According to the Sichuan Meteorological Observatory, since May 27, 6 cities in Sichuan, Guanyuan, Bazhong, Dazhou, Guang'an, Nancheng, and Suining have been besieged by thunderstorms, with 4 of them enduring substantial rainfall. A video shared by a resident of Xian'an County, Dazhou City, on May 28 captures the distressing scene as the nearby river swells overnight, inundating the streets. The footage exhibits a white car being swept away by the forceful floodwaters while a sizable truck parked alongside the river becomes submerged, with more than half of its body hidden underwater. Streets are transformed into expansive water bodies, inundating ground-level residential houses and shops. Particularly affected are the merchants operating near the river, who suffer substantial losses, prompting the urgent evacuation of a significant number of individuals. Furthermore, the floodwaters have washed away a temporary bridge at a construction site along the river. A witness, capturing the incident on video, states, "This bridge might not survive." However, before the observer can finish speaking, the floodwaters forcibly sweep away the bridge. Another video displays a torrential mixture of mud and rocks cascading down the mountainside, eliciting cries of alarm from onlookers, who exclaim, "Run!" Concerned netizens take to Weibo to express their worries about lost communication with friends and relatives in Dazhou. Some online users even philosophize, nature is constantly warning humanity. According to the latest water regime monitoring conducted by the Anhui Provincial Hydrological Bureau, as of 1600 hours on May 27, a staggering 134 reservoirs had surpassed the flood limit water level, intensifying the likelihood of mountain torrent geological disasters. Among the affected regions, Anqing City and Qianshan City faced a deluge of heavy rains from May 26 to 27, with certain areas experiencing torrential downpours. Official reports indicate that in Guangzhou Town, Qianshan City, landslides were triggered by the heavy rainfall, leading to the collapse of 142 houses, substantial damage to road infrastructure caused by flooding, extensive submersion of farmland and tea gardens, and severe economic losses incurred by local farmers. As of now, no casualties have been reported by officials on the ground. Meanwhile, the Central Meteorological Observatory has extended a blue rainstorm warning until May 28. Anticipated weather patterns indicate that heavy rainfall is expected in 7 provinces and cities, namely Sichuan, Chongqing, Hunan, Anhui, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shaanxi, from 8 o'clock on May 28 to 8 o'clock on May 29. On Twitter, a user reposted the relevant news and emphasized their concern about the status of rice terraces located on mountainsides. Earlier, a Weibo user exposed information stating that, in pursuit of the so-called political objective of returning forests to farmland, a specific region implemented a practice known as uphill rice cultivation, involving the clearing of trees on steep slopes to reclaim terraced fields, consequently heightening the risk of soil erosion. Videos disseminated online further reveal the plight of newly established terraced fields encountering heavy rain shortly after the plantation of seedlings, presenting a visually shocking scene of mountain torrents gushing down the mountainside and submerging the newly developed rice terraces. The explosion at the Hebei police station is fraught with uncertainty. The authorities of Daqing County released a notification on May 27, revealing that at 1600 hours on May 26, the Zhangtuan police station in Daqing County had experienced an explosion during the examination and evaluation of fireworks and firecrackers suspected of illicit trading. The blast claimed 4 lives, injured 5 individuals, and left 2 others unaccounted for. A local business owner near the police station recounted the incident, describing a sudden and disruptive sequence of deafening noises during the afternoon break, beginning with one loud bang and followed by several more. According to eyewitnesses, the nearby houses trembled, their windows shattered, and the structural integrity of the police station suffered varying degrees of damage. In the aftermath of the incident, mainland media outlets provided reports indicating the imposition of roadblocks near the site, effectively sealing off access and deploying police personnel to guard intersections, thereby preventing unauthorized entry. Concurrently, small businesses lining the nearby roadsides were compelled to cease operations. The incident sparked widespread online discourse as speculation loomed over its cause. Officials initially attributed the explosion to a mishap that occurred during the collection of forensic samples by the police. However, doubts continued to persist, bolstered by emerging reports indicating human involvement in the explosion, resulting in the death of the alleged perpetrator. According to self-proclaimed local netizens, the incident was allegedly instigated by a disgruntled firecracker vendor who grew increasingly exasperated with recurrent fines. Driven by impatience and dissatisfaction, the vendor procured an explosive device, affixed a collection of firecrackers to it, and proceeded to transport the makeshift bomb to the police station. Reports indicate that the local government had previously issued multiple notices forbidding the operation of fireworks and firecrackers throughout Daqing County. Violators would face fines ranging from 20,000 to 100,000 yuan, along with the confiscation of their goods and assets. Similarly, unauthorized transportation of fireworks and firecrackers would incur fines ranging from 10,000 to 50,000 yuan, accompanied by the seizure of the contraband and illicit proceeds. Another $100 billion real estate company in China faces delisting due to its debt crisis. On the evening of May 25, Tahoe Group disclosed that it had been subjected to compulsory enforcement proceedings initiated by Industrial Trust. This development involves 4 disputes, all revolving around loans sought by Industrial Trust for project development and construction in 2019. Tahoe Group, along with its actual controllers, Huang Qisen and Yi Li, have acted as guarantors. Jiemian News reports that the aggregate loan principal of these 4 disputes amounts to more than $450 million. As a consequence of outstanding debts, Industrial Trust has sought mandatory enforcement for the recovery of the principal as well as interest penalties. As per the announcement, as of the conclusion of April this year, Tahoe Group faced an additional 463 undisclosed minor lawsuits and arbitration cases, collectively involving an amount of $56.5 million. These legal matters primarily revolve around disputes over commercial housing contracts, engineering construction contracts, and lease agreements, which are characterized by relatively small amounts. Data obtained from Tianyanka reveals that since 2020, Tahoe has been subject to enforcement proceedings over 30 times, amounting to a total of nearly $2.8 billion. Simultaneously, Huang Qisen has encountered multiple instances of being categorized as a dishonest executor and has faced limitations on high consumption. This once prominent real estate enterprise, valued at $100 billion, has suffered consecutive annual losses after its descent into a debt crisis. In May of the previous year, the company was designated ST due to its annual report recording a loss of nearly $537 million. On May 24, ST Tahoe commenced trading with a lower limit, settling at 0.61 yuan per share. This marks the 13th consecutive trading day where the stock price has fallen below the 1 yuan mark. Analysts at First Finance and Economics have conducted an analysis indicating that even if ST Tahoe's stock price continues to rise at the limit over the next 7 days, it will still be unable to surpass the delisting warning threshold of 1 yuan per share. Consequently, the company is already predestined for a face value delisting. Reflecting on its history, 13 years ago, Tahoe Group achieved a successful listing, emerging as the sole real estate company to go public in China that year. At its peak in 2018, the stock price even reached a high of 21.63 yuan. However, amid the ongoing real estate adjustment cycle, Tahoe has become one of the earliest casualties among real estate firms, with its current total market value standing at a mere $214.5 million. Notably, Tahoe is not alone in facing the possibility of delisting within the real estate sector. According to incomplete data from the China Real Estate Information Corporation, CRIC, there are presently 12 A-share real estate companies that have hit the cap mark. All of these companies incurred net losses attributable to their parent entities in 2022, with over half of them qualifying as penny stocks, priced below 1 yuan per share. According to data from Wind Financial Terminal, as of April 5 this year, a total of 88 mainland real estate companies engaged in residential property development and listed on the A-share and Hong Kong stock markets had reported their financial performance for the entire year of 2022. Comparing these results with those of 2021, it is evident that the losses incurred by real estate companies have not only widened but also witnessed a rise in the number of companies operating in the red. Notably, several real estate companies have transitioned from profitability to losses for the first time. An analysis conducted by Times Finance and Economics reveals that a total of 40 real estate companies suffered post-tax net losses last year, amounting to a cumulative loss of over $24 billion. The list of 40 loss-making real estate firms consists largely of private companies, although it also includes state-owned and central enterprises. Over the last 2 years, numerous enterprises in the private sector have faced liquidity issues, including significant real estate firms that have maintained a pretty healthy financial position. Among them, a significant number of 29 real estate companies experienced their inaugural shift from profit to loss in the previous year. Notable entities included Country Garden, Sino-Ocean Group, Minmetals Real Estate, CCRE Real Estate, Agile, Logan Group, Times China Holdings, KWG Group, and Kaisa. The CCP exploited the Cathay Pacific incident to inflame tensions between people on the mainland and Hong Kong. On May 22, a passenger shared a complaint on a mainland Chinese social networking site, recounting their experience aboard Cathay Pacific Flight CX-987 from Chengdu to Hong Kong on May 21. A recording provided by the passenger captures instances where some flight attendants remarked on mainland passengers mispronouncing the English word for blanket as carpet. In response, a flight attendant remarked, "If you can't say blanket in English, you can't get it," which elicited laughter from both parties. The complaint further noted instances where flight attendants engaged in disrespectful conversations in English and Cantonese.
I went to Maotan. Carpet, you know, Maotan.
What? I don't understand.
你咁都唔識？
If you don't speak English, I can't help you.
喂，你喺邊啊？
哎呀，你想说什么呀？
Following significant backlash from mainland netizens regarding alleged discrimination by Hong Kong's Cathay Pacific Airlines, Cathay Pacific issued 4 apologies on May 24 and terminated the employment of 3 implicated employees. The incident involving Cathay Pacific has been the subject of extensive coverage by official media outlets affiliated with the CCP in recent days. An article on ChinaNews.com, published on May 24, drew attention to the incident, stating, "If you see a cockroach in the kitchen, there must be more than one in it." Notably, during the anti-extradition movement in Hong Kong 4 years ago, the CCP's official media and the Hong Kong police derogatorily referred to Hong Kong demonstrators as cockroaches, resulting in conflicts. People's Daily, the official media outlet, emphasized on May 23 the need to rectify Cathay Pacific and address the root problem. Xinhuanet highlighted that Cathay Pacific Airways can't fly far because of old problems. The Hong Kong government made concerted efforts to acknowledge its mistakes, with Chief Executive Li Jiaqiao, Director of the Bureau of Transport and Logistics Lin Xixiang, Director of the Bureau of Culture, Sports, and Tourism Yang Ronxiong, and others issuing statements. Li Jiaqiao affirmed that similar situations must not recur. Cathay Pacific Airways, the flagship civil airline in Hong Kong and the largest local carrier, witnessed the involvement of many employees in the anti-extradition movement that unfolded in 2019. Subsequently, the Civil Aviation Administration of China called upon Cathay Pacific to initiate internal reforms. Dr. Lin Song, a prominent Australian media professional and a Hong Kong immigrant, shared his insights with the Epoch Times on May 25, suggesting that the Cathay Pacific incident is being exploited by the CCP to magnify and stoke nationalist sentiments among mainland Chinese compatriots who lack awareness of the truth. This strategy serves as a means to suppress Hong Kong residents and divert attention from the CCP's nefarious departure from the principle of Hong Kong people governing Hong Kong. Dr. Lin remarked, "Often, in the absence of valid reasons, they employ nationalism to incite the general public. This is a common tactic employed by the CCP." Regarding the incident itself, he believes it is the result of a language misunderstanding, and this outcome is a consequence of the CCP's disregard for English education. Dr. Lin stated, "When we discuss discrimination, it is, in fact, the CCP that discriminates against English and Cantonese, leading to educational deviations and a lack of respect among Chinese people for other languages." In recent years, the Chinese Communist Party has consistently downplayed the significance of Cantonese in education and employment on the mainland. Following the anti-extradition movement in Hong Kong, the CCP has implemented measures to promote Mandarin and simplified Chinese characters across Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau. Dr. Lin Song asserted that the CCP views itself as the global center and expects others to conform to the Mandarin language and speech patterns of senior Beijing officials as the ultimate standard. Dr. Lin believes that if the CCP continues to deliberately instigate trouble, it will erode support for the Beijing Central Committee among Hong Kong residents, potentially leading to a stronger desire among them to leave the region. Professor Feng Chongyi from the University of Technology Sydney shares a similar perspective, suggesting that CCP officials are blowing this issue out of proportion. Professor Feng argued that the CCP aims to retaliate against the anti-extradition movement that erupted in Hong Kong and further subjugate the local population. Professor Feng remarked, "This government has been bought, and the police have been bought, but Hong Kong people refuse to accept it." The CCP is using this method to sow discord between mainlanders and Hong Kong residents. Regarding the overwhelmingly critical online comments from mainland netizens towards Cathay Pacific, Professor Feng Chongyi expressed skepticism, stating, "These internet comments are under CCP control, and any unfavorable opinions are swiftly deleted. What we see are orchestrated reactions, not genuine public sentiment." Professor Feng emphasized that the entire incident is becoming an opportunity for the CCP to expedite the promotion of Mandarin and Red culture in Hong Kong. They have a whole plan to use various excuses to destroy Hong Kong's education system and language system, he warned. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.